LP like Paul.
Yeah.
Miles College. Yeah.
Them golden bears. MC, 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 MC.
We finna get it in.
MC, 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 MC.
Look here.
Purple over here, gold over there. Yeah, we rapping Miles College, we them golden bears. Purple over here, gold over there. Yeah, we rapping Miles College, we them golden bears. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Yeah, gold all in my chain, yeah, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. We screaming dirty MC, we talk about not turf. Miles College, we them golden bears. Who we finna play? We don't even care. PMM crank the band up and light the fuse. Not a crowd jumping, oh your team bout to lose. I'm rapping hard, everybody know. You gon' see me representing that purple and gold. We finna get it in, we finna get a win. Everybody turned up, yeah we on 10. Lord have mercy, making history. You don't wanna run up, I got my clique with me. Purple over here, gold over there. Yeah, we rapping Miles College, we them golden bears. Purple over here, gold over there. Yeah, we rapping Miles College, we them golden bears. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt. Gold all in my chain, purple all in my shirt.
Yeah. Okay. This that dirty MC. Miles College. Okay. We all we got. We all we need. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love my HBCU. The dirty MC.
Since 1898, the concept of higher learning for African Americans has thrived and flourished here in the metropolitan Birmingham, Alabama. Miles College is a senior private liberal arts historically black college with roots in the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church that motivates and prepares students to seek knowledge which leads to intellectual and civic empowerment. The Miles College education engages students in rigorous study, scholarly inquiry, and spiritual awareness, enabling graduates to become lifelong learners and responsible citizens who help shape our global society. Through its coursework, community development projects, and philanthropic partnerships, Miles College students graduate with the knowledge and wisdom needed to reach their full potential and thrive in a shifting 21st century landscape. Learn more today about Miles College. To donate, learn more about course information, or to schedule a visit, go to miles.edu.
Coachella, y'all ready? But just like life. All right.
Air Jordan ready to take off. Can I get an amen?
And welcome to the very first National Oprah Winfrey Show!
Good morning, Miles College family. It is indeed a great day and a new day here at the home of Southern Beauty. Good morning, Dean. How are you?
Good morning, Dean Parker. I'm well. How are you today, sir?
I am doing well. So glad that I'm able to join you all as I'm traveling, doing the work of the college.
Yeah, well, we have to do what we have to do to make sure things continue to go on as they should. We're delighted to have all the guests that are going to be with us today to share. This has been an exciting month, and I appreciate all the information and all the inspiration that we've had this month. And today will also be an enjoyable day to share. What's going on? Tell us some of the things that are going on.
Well, first of all, we just want to let everybody know that next week begins midterm, students. We want to just remind you to be prepared that next week we will begin midterms. Please make sure that you are studying and that you continue to go to class and be the scholars that you are. And we just want to let you know that we are so proud of you, and we pray that you will do well on next week as you prepare to take your midterms. Midterms also signifies that we're halfway through
Yes, sir.
halfway through this semester. And I know graduating seniors are particularly excited as they prepare themselves for exit exams as well as graduation. And then on next week, we're so excited as we begin the month of March. February, we celebrated Black History Month, but then in March, we will celebrate Women's History Month. And it's so apropos to celebrate Women's History Month because it's an international situation. But also on March 11th, we will inaugurate the 15th president of Miles College, in that of the first female president, President Bobby Knight. So we are excited, and there's some other surprises that will be coming during the month of March. We were so excited this week, Dean Batie, as we had on the campus this past Monday, the Reverend Al Sharpton, the president and founder of the National Action Network. And his message was so timely and powerful, particularly not just to the Miles College family, but to the entire persons who attended and to us as a people, to not just know history, but as African Americans particularly, to go and to make positive history, to protect our financial institutions, to protect our history, and to also protect our historically colleges and universities. I don't know about you, Dean, but that was a blessed opportunity to sit at the feet of such a social justice giant.
Yeah, he gave an inspiring message. I think it even for those of us who've been around a while, it kind of reignited something within us, rekindled that fire to go forward, to move forward, and to continue to fight for justice and equality for all of for everyone. And I think that it was a blessing to have him on campus to give that message and to inspire all of us to move forward in human rights and justice for everyone. I'm just excited about the things that are going on Miles campus, as we want to welcome everyone to our forum today. And as we usually do, we want to take a moment to highlight this Black History period.
Absolutely. So when we return, we'll bring our guests. But as we close out Black History Month here during College Forum, as we've done each and every Wednesday, let us pause and let us hear the voices of students from historically Black colleges across the country lift every voice and sing.
That beautiful rendition. Wow. Man, that's got to go down as one of the great classic arrangements and the renditions in the history of that song, man. It's got to.
Absolutely. I want to bring up Miss Valerie Harris because as we saw at the beginning, we saw Miss Harris opening up the song on the piano in the historic Brown Hall. And we also saw students from Miles College. Miss Harris, can you tell us about how that rendition came to be? I know it was recorded during the pandemic, but how did you all come up with that idea and piece that music together?
I'm a part of the 105 Black Voices, and the lady called me and she said, Miss Harris, she said, we need somebody, we need a female who can play the Lift Every Voice and Sing. She said, and someone recommended you. I said, well, yes, ma'am. I'll be more than happy to do it. I said, where do you need? She said, we need a big grand piano. I said, well, we have that here on the campus of Miles College. I said, we can go in Brown Hall and I can record it for you and send it. And that's how that came about.
But the putting that together
was
masterfully done. I mean,
yes, it was.
You couldn't.
Yes, it was.
I mean, you couldn't ask for any more. The blending of those voices
yes,
and the music, the directors. I mean, that's got to be a classic.
It took a lot of work to get it done.
I'm sure it did, but that's going to go down in history as a classic.
Yeah. And I'm glad that Miles College is a part of it. We had 3 students from the choir who were a part of that. So yeah, it was great.
And we thank Dr. Williams for having those instruments. The Dr. Bernard Williams made sure
Yes,
we
sir.
had all the that we need to do any kind of presentation that
Yes,
we
sir.
needed to. So our hats off to him
Yes, it
during
is.
this Black History Month, the
Yes,
Dr. Bernard Williams Sr.
great.
For his efforts in preparing
Yes.
us for a venture of that nature.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Harris, certainly you have golden fingers. I tell you that all the time on that
Thank you,
piano.
Dean
And a
Ray.
golden
And
voice.
I'm amazed just to sit there and watch you play. You know, I'm fascinated with that, where
Yes.
your fingers be moving across those keys. God has given you a talent and you have used it well.
Thank you,
And
sir.
you're continuing to use it well here at Miles College. And we thank you for
Yes,
your contribution to the growth and development of Miles College as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. So when we talk about Black History Month, certainly we want to bring up all of our participants today. We just want to just share with you the importance of this month. And you hear many argue that Black History Month was ascribed to the shortest month of the year. But when you really look at the history of it, some may assert that, but that's really not the case. When we look at Black History Month, we see that it was founded in 1915 by a brother by the name of Carter G. Woodson, who was a historian at Harvard at the time. And he, along with another minister by the name of Jesse Moreland, founded the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, simply to bring awareness to the African American people who had made significant contributions to society as a whole, but it had been forgotten and or left out of the narrative, left out of our history books. And so they started this particular organization to bring awareness to who we are as a people and to also empower us. And that eventually turned into Negro History Week. Well, colleges and universities across the country during that time did not accept the week. And what they started to do was celebrate this during the entire month on the campuses of their colleges and universities, including Miles College. And so as we celebrate, history states, first of all, that February was not just, again, randomly chosen during February for us to celebrate Black History Month. But what we need to understand is that Carter G. Woodson helped create Black History Month. But he did more than that. Hear this. He did it in such a way that caught the attention of President Ford, and it was President Ford at that time who pushed for this to be a national holiday and for us to celebrate it during the month of February. And it also aligns with Abraham Lincoln's birthday, as well as Frederick Douglass's birthday. So we just wanted to give you that background, but a little bit deeper, because here at Miles College, we bring forth in our mission spiritual awareness. The Word of God teaches us in Isaiah 46:9 that the Lord God commands us to remember our history, which is rich history. Why? Well, when you look also in Daniel chapter 2 and 21, we find that the Lord changes the seasons and guides history. He raises up kings and also brings them down. He provides both intelligence and discernment. And so what we must understand as believers is that God's divine power and God's wisdom and untimely control of human events is involved with our history, but we must also understand that man and woman's response to God's working also creates our history. And so when we look at the retention of our African faith, when we look at the retention as people from Africa, we are reminded of a bird, a Sankofa bird, in that the Sankofa bird teaches us that as we move forward as a people, as we move forward as a culture, we must look back and remember. We must look back and honor, but we also must look back to teach our young people our history as we move forward. And so again, we're just glad to be able to celebrate our history as we've shared all month. We've celebrated Black history, but we've also celebrated our history as Miles College as we looked and reviewed the 60s, the civil rights movement of our students and the impact that they made here in the city of Birmingham, as we looked at the impact of Miles College under the leadership of various presidents, such as Dr. W. Clyde Williams, Dr. Leroy Johnson, and Albert Sloan, and Dr. George T. French, and our current president, President Bobby Knight. And so as we continue our College Forum series, certainly we want to bring forth Dean Stallworth as well as Dean Batie. I was told that Dean Stallworth is a man of many talents. We're so glad to have him here in the life of the college as he serves as one of our professors here in the Humanities Department, as well as Dean of Students and Director of Alumni Affairs. Good morning, Dean Stallworth.
Good morning, Dean Barker. How are you all today?
Doing well. I think you hit something that's very significant before Dean Stallworth comes in. We must always study history within the context of the time. You can't reflect on history from your view today. You have to understand the context in which all of this was created. You're talking about the year that it was created. That was revolutionary.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
very revolutionary. We don't think about it in these times because we try to view history from our eyes now. But let's go back and keep it all in context when these men were coming forth to start such a movement as that. I think we need to understand that always when we're reviewing history, because we like to look through our eyes in the 21st century, but you have to go back and look in the eyes of those at during that particular time and understand the whole context of what was going on during that time. And Dean Stallworth, you spoken word. I mean, Dean Stallworth. When I saw that, I said, "What?" I said, "I know I've seen him do many things, but a spoken word." I said, I want to see this and hear this."
No, thank you, Dean Batie. And I have to give a shout out to good old brother Brackett, soon to be Dr. Brackett. He shouted me out on Facebook saying, once again, sharing the stage with Dean Stallworth, or Trey Stallworth as it has on my Facebook. But I have to say I'm privileged and honored, and I'm just humbled to be asked. But yes, I do a little bit of spoken word, and to just put all the pressure on Brother Brackett when he comes up. I literally wrote this poem 12 minutes before this program started. So this is fresh off the press, and I hope everybody will enjoy it. I have it on my phone because I tried to print it off, but technical difficulties. But I hope you all will enjoy it.
Well, extra, hear all about it.
All right. So the title of it is called "The Time is 4:03." Taken from a mother who shall not see her daughters and sons, the deeds of enslavement that can never be undone. The time is 4:03. Delivered to these shores in groups and hordes, only to be separated for detrimental work and no rewards. The time is 4:03. Cast aside and questioned of being far less than any man, but from the depths of our ancestors is where our blood began. The time is 4:03. For we are the sable beings who are right kings and queens. We are powerful, majestic, and mystic. It's in our genes. The time is 4:03. Enough with this rhyme of formality, for I speak to you with confidence. My essence and power do not lack. Yes, I am Black. I was the slave, the Negro, African American, if you will, but here and there and everywhere, seen and not seen, invisible, and yet Ralph Ellison named me. All have trialed and triumphed for the elusive words, the freedom, the equality, the right to have rights. To be and not to be is the question. I think because Shakespeare saw me too. He saw me as Othello, and yet my hubris was even slighted in that play. For I am not the fell clutch of my circumstance. I am creation. I am creator. I am the believed and the believer. For I achieve and I am the achiever. the assailant and the victim, the victor, the tribe, and the quest. No rap here, though. I have no rest for the ideals because I am ideals, and the start and the finish. Relish in me knowing because I am showing you, America, the world, the universe, to whatever gods may be. For I am desire and desired. I am not a token, and yet I am broken. I am the essence and the truth that has been the light. Even though my skin is dark, it's not my fault, but it is undeniably, the choice to have the privilege to wear such skin, the skin I'm in and have been from the past and the present and everyone's future to be. For I conquer and we conquer together. And for that reason, as it is in all seasons, the time is 403. And next year it will be 404. But all the time we open doors to let everyone know that we were eternity, the first and the last. But our time, America's time, began 403 years ago. And we are keeping the pace as we walk, jog, and run this race. Tick tock, but no, big brother, sir. Thank you.
As the young people do, yeah, I got to do that. I had to catch on to that. Yeah. Well, I expect such linguistic construct from an English major. You know? Yeah, well, wonderful. That's a wonderful presentation. You have to put that in print. We have to read that and see that. You have to put that in print for all the students and all of us to review. Thank you for that. Such a timely message. And as I said, I'm really impressed with your linguistic construct, how you put that together. What I expect that from one as yourself.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dean Batie. And no pressure to you, Brother Brackett. No pressure.
Well, I'm sure he can stand on his own.
Definitely.
That's the beauty in it. Being the individuality is one of the marvelous things about human nature. That God made all of us different, and we express ourselves in different ways. But we're all creative in our own ways.
Absolutely,
most definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We just thought that it would be so apropos to highlight the talents of our staff and our students and faculty today, particularly as we look at the retention of our people. We are a people of many gifts. We are a people of many graces, and we often find them revealed in various places, institutions of higher learning, as we witness at this past Super Bowl. We are a gifted, talented group of people, and if given the opportunity, the sky's the limit for us. We can flourish in so many different ways. In the class, Coach Reginald Ruffin, he said it like this, we are a group of people that are educated. We dominate wherever we go, whatever we do. But more importantly, we graduate. Some of us may not graduate from institutions of higher learning, but we graduate in different areas of life. We graduate in our talents of poetry. We graduate and elevate in the constructs of where God has placed us to be transformational leaders and to make impact wherever we are put. And so with that being said, certainly we want to shift gears and hear from Sister Valerie R. Harris, the director of the Miles College Choir. And with her today, we have a student that I'm very, very proud of, in that of Mr. Nathan Tate.
We're going to let Nate sing for you today, and he's singing Who Can Satisfy.
Satisfy my soul like you.
My, the great Nate Tate. Amen. The great Nate Tate. Thank you, Nate. Wonderful, wonderful presentation. You got a lovely voice, son. And I'm sure as you work with Miss Harris, you're going to continue to develop that talent and skill that God has given you. Blessings be with you. Now, there may be some young people out there listening today who would like to be a part of this great legacy and great tradition. We want to, Dean Parker, why don't you share with them how they too can become a part of this great legacy and great tradition?
Absolutely. We would love to have you to be a part of the Miles College family, whether you're graduating from high school or looking to transfer. And if you are continuing or want to continue your education in that you have life credit experience, we want to accept and invite you to join the Miles College family. And so if you are interested in Miles, we invite you to visit our website at www.miles.edu or give us a call today at our admissions office, 205-929-1000, and you'll hit number 1 and you'll be directed to our Office of Admissions, where they would love to assist you in any way. Here at Miles College, we welcome everyone. If you have any questions, just give us a shout. We'd be glad to answer them for you.
And there are scholarships available
Absolutely.
too. And we have scholarships available. You have talent and skills and academically inclined. We have scholarships on all of those levels that you can participate in. Why don't you give us a call and let's talk about it. Maybe you had to put your education to the side for a while for various reasons. Sometimes things happen, life happens. And sometimes you had to prolong things. And now you're ready to jump back into it and you're ready to get it a shout again, a try again, and you want to really come forth now and be successful. Miles is the place for you. Come on, we have a place right for you, and we have all these people here who are willing to help you and support you on your journey through this process.
Absolutely. Thank you all again. Thank you, Mrs. Harris and Nate.
We have all this talent, Dean, and we got these spoken word folks, and we got another Mr. Brackett, also spoken word. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know what to think around here. You know, all these people were able to do spoken word. I got to come up with something myself. Maybe I need to do. Now, when y'all make that rap song, y'all let me know. I want to be in the background of it. That rap song, y'all get ready to pull together.
Yeah.
I want to be in the background. Let me be in a little background of it. Mr. Brackett, you got something for us today as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. As soon as we get that cipher together, I'm definitely going to invite you. You know, to be part of that. You know, that piece.
Well, you know, I love poetry now. Poetry is one of my favorite things. I love poetry. I love to read poetry, and I love to cite poetry myself.
Okay.
So I really be interested in that.
Of
But
course,
now I don't know about rapping though. But I can stand there, I guess, and do that kind of stuff they be doing. I probably could do some of that though.
Gotcha.
Share with us, Mr. Brackett. What do you have for us today?
So this piece is actually dedicated to a book that actually got me interested in poetry itself. My mother had this book. It was called Black Voices. So it was a collection of, you know, pieces from, you know, Garvey, Malcolm X, Langston Hughes, and so on and so forth. So in the essence of Black History Month, I wanted to share this piece with y'all. The sounds of some of the greatest minds are as soft as the drop of a flower petal. I remember them vividly. Malcolm X, Langston Hughes, W.B. Du Bois, Paul Laurence Dunbar, and other Black intellectuals of our beloved history taking me to a level of consciousness that I wasn't aware of. Sometimes even at those harder times where I was barely surviving as a young guy, I reside my mind during the wee hours of the night just for Frederick Douglass to tell me about how he survived, or when Richard Wright taught the ethics of living Jim Crow, studied Owen Dotson's prose, and analyzed Claude McKay's pen strokes. Also, I can consume my red pill to find how deep the rabbit hole goes. A Morpheus mindsets, unplugging the masses from trained psychology while uplifting them consciously. So when I speak, my tongue rolls with the linguistics of Garvey and King. I write with the ink of Woodson, retraining my mind after 12 years of being miseducated, yet I'm dedicated with my articulation while practicing virtues of hard work, faith, and patience. These voices stay in my ear like Bluetooth, yet the push that they give me is all hands-free. True music to me, yet it's a cappella, nothing but success for this young fella, receiving and sending positive vibes like my pen was the antenna. See, it all started from this moment when I opened to the first page to hear what these Black voices had to say. Like, young man, a time comes when silence is betrayal. So I roar with the lion within me to take my place as king. Or when they said education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare today. No wonder I can't remember the last time I've actually laid in my bed and actually slept, because I had the hunger to be the best to my final breath, to touch someone's life even after my death. So I write and rock every stage, give it my best to the point where at that moment in silence, someone else can hear me amongst these Black voices.
Man, that was deep. I'm gonna have to do a double one of these for that. That was really deep. You know, when I think about all that we've been through and how they could even stop and think for a minute to write poetry. Mm-hmm. The expression of their, it really an expression of the times and the events in their lives that we share. And I think one of the things, a great tragedy is today that young people don't do a lot of reading. That's a great tragedy, because there's so much knowledge out there, so much to be inspired by. But when I ask young people about certain authors, Richard Wright, Ralph Ellison, and they never, who is that? They never heard. And I said, how in the world do you go through school, 12 years of education, and not hear about you haven't been educated? I think that's what Carter G. Woodson was and others were talking about, and how sad it is. And that's why we have to have institutions like Miles to capture and recapture that essence of who we really are and where we have really come from and the things that we had to endure. I was watching a presentation the other night on public television, Fannie Lou Hamer. Yeah. And I thought to myself, man, I knew about her, but I really didn't know the essence of who this lady really was, man. And all the things that she really did to bring about voting rights in Mississippi. And I was just thinking about that, how sad it is that we've lost a lot of that. And I think it speaks to the problems that we're having today. When I was in school, I went to a segregated school, but the beauty in it all that Black history was not just February. It was a week during that time. It was not just a week. It was every day. Every day I walked down the hallway, I saw figures of Black people on the walls down the hall. All the way down the hall, you saw great, outstanding Black men and women, not only in the past, but during that day.
Yeah.
We had men like A.G. Gassons on the wall. That was an inspiration. You go in there and say, who is this guy? And you read about him and say, man, he did that. That give you an incentive to try to do something yourself. We lost some of that. And people don't like to hear me talk because I think integration was a tragedy for Black people, but I ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole nother. It really was. It took a lot from us because I was in a segregated school, but pride, man, you talking Black history was not just a week, every day. And I saw we had a principal who was Black history man. He was an outstanding man, well dressed, always dressed nice and neat, drove a nice car, talked well. I mean, man, it inspired you. You know, that was inspiration.
But you know what, Dean? For me, I was reminded particularly of what Reverend Sharpton said on Monday when he talked about the institution of the Black church, right? Society could strip you down to nothing. But when you went into the institution of the Black church, you were somebody. And that was like my living Black history. To see men and women on the south side of Chicago come to a Carter Temple CME church and be officers and leaders and pastors, and then have an opportunity to go and sit at Operation Push every Saturday,
right,
and see with my own hands the Reverend Jesse Jackson, to drive down Stony Island, to see the headquarters of Minister Louis Farrakhan, to be able to end it, to see and to actually touch these people every day, but more importantly, to see it in the Black church, for me, gave me the force to not just learn about history as Reverend Sharpton indicated, but to make history. And then to fast forward to see Dr. Albert J.H. Sloan and the Miles College Choir coming to town. I've never seen a Black man who was called president of a college and a university. And really that spoke to me to want to do more, to want to expand my education, to even want to come down to Miles College. And so being exposed and then just to come to Miles College, that was a whole another experience I had not seen, as Jay-Z and Beyonce would say, Black excellence at its finest. And I had not seen a Larry Batie, right?
Then I can take it even further and say, I was in a segregated environment. However, my whole life has been designed and developed through the Black experience. What do I mean by that? I went to a Black school, elementary school. I went to a Black high school. I went to a Black college, a Black seminary. And listen to this. My first job the professional job that I had was by a black man, a multimillionaire, Dr. A.G. Gaston, right out of college. My whole experience has been seeing black excellence. Saw it in the elementary schools with the fine teachers that we had, the nice professional teachers we had. I saw it in high school. We had one of the greatest high schools that they closed. Listen to this. That taught Latin, Russian, all these languages years ago, man. Years ago, and had some of the best teachers. How do we know they were the best teachers? Because every one of them, when they integrated, they took them and put them in the white schools.
Yep.
Every one of the black teachers that was at the black school that was excellent, preparing black minds and preparing us for the world, they took them, they integrated and took them and put them over there with their children to teach their children. So that says something right there. But we had them all there with us, teaching us. And they closed our school. And don't get me on that. I don't want to get on that, but I want to get on that. But my whole experience has been seeing black excellence. So I know you can't tell me black people can't do it, because I've seen it from a child. And then don't even think that when I left there, I went home. I saw they were not formally trained, but they were excellent. They taught me morals and principles and values. And then I went to the black church where they taught me spiritual matters, how to have live in a dignified manner. So my whole life. So you can't tell me that black people can't do it. When I went to work for Dr. A.J. Gaston, man, I was amazed. Here are some black people running not just a black business, but running a business.
Yeah.
A major insurance company, black executives, sitting in offices with ties on, professional, handling business. Go downstairs to a black bank, handling business. You can't tell me that black people can't do it. All of my life, I've been exposed to black people doing it. Now, the tragedy is we have a disconnect. We have a disconnect now. And many of our children don't get an opportunity to see this for various reasons. And that's the tragedy. That's what we've got to put back into. Imagine young boys walking down the hall seeing black heroes from a child on up. Then going to high school seeing black heroes. Then going to college, coming to a Miles College, meeting a Dr. Arrington and a Jonathan McPherson, a PhD in chemistry. What?
Right.
I mean, a PhD in chemistry. You say, what? What in the world? You mean you can do that? You see my point. And then going to a seminary and meeting a Randall Bailey and Thomas Pugh and John
Henry Welcher.
And oh man, and reading the books of Bishop Johnson, saying, man, so black excellence has always been around me. So it's not a matter. How now is the question, do we transfer this now back to these generations that have been cut off and thinking that the only black excellence is pushing dope and rapping, running a football. But that's their world, because other people handle the media. One of the tragedies I thought was when Bob Johnson sold BET. I said, man, you get away our voice, that other people now control our voice. But I mean, you know, that's a whole, I can go on and on. And I think that Reverend Sharpton made a great point. He said that during the Super Bowl, they did not use one B, one H. They didn't call any women, defile women in any way, because they were not only speaking to black folks, but they were speaking to a broader audience, white folks, so they didn't allow them. But you can bring that same stuff to our community and impregnate the minds and the attitude and the spirit of our young people. And they say it's okay to do that. Don't you give it to the general public now on our venue, but it's okay for you to go and poison the minds of your young people in your community and celebrate it. And you go and celebrate it, and you run around with your blunt in your mouth and talking about you the pimp, and you celebrate that, and our children try to imitate that.
That's true.
Instead of imitating Dr. A.G. Gasson, who said a part of all you earn is yours to keep, or celebrating Marcus Garvey, who had that movement, or celebrating Jesse Jackson, who ran for president and laid a foundation, or Shirley Chisholm, who laid a foundation running for president. So we got to stop, y'all, and think.
Yeah.
And not allow other people to think for us. That's why we need a place like Mount. That's why you need to come to a place like this, so you can raise your social consciousness and have a greater appreciation of who you are and what you ought to be doing. Look, we took young folks to Wall Street. Look, man, go understand what capitalism is and how capitalism affects this society that we live in. Understand that this is a capitalistic society, and the ones with the capital control the destiny of the society in capitalism. Understand how it works. Understand that only tragedy I thought it was that they didn't give every one of those students some stock.
Yeah.
That, it's good to ring the bell. I appreciate you ringing the bell. Heck, it'd have been better to ring that bell with some stock in your hand, owning some of that stock. So each one of them companies had given at least 10 shares of stock to each one of those students represented at those representing those universities to get them started. So now here, get a taste of it. Here it is right here now. Build on this. See, that's what we got to do. We got to get back to that old landmark. Dr. Gaston was a wealthy man, but he was not flamboyant. He was not flamboyant. He didn't have to buy 6 cars to prove that he was rich. Hell, all of us knew Dr. A.G. Gaston was rich. When he walked down the street, you knew who he was. That Dr. A.G. Gaston got plenty of money. Time I worked for him, I think he was valued at $21.5 million. Black man. That I'm working for. Who telling me you can have some of this too? We got to get back. We got to restore the credibility in our community, in our churches. Where churches taught morals and values. Now we're talking about money and prosperity. Teaching folks how to live. It's good. We got to teach people how to live, but to make a living, but we got to teach them how to live as well as they make that living. Have some character, have some morals, have some values. You don't have to sell dope to get ahead. You don't have to be a hip pimp and a hustler to get ahead. You can be a professional and still get ahead. Look, you can be a professional mechanic and get ahead. Have you taken your car to a mechanic lately and see what they charge? You can be a professional plumber and get ahead. Have you ever had work at your house? You go in the house, you have work at your house, had a plumber to come in? Yeah. He charged, look, man, I had an air conditioner man come. All I had did was made a mistake and then push your button back up. He charged me $75 to come out and tell me all you need to do is click this button. And I got to pay you $75 to tell me, yeah, you didn't know it, did you? So I can't argue with that. You're $75, man. But I'll know it next time because you taught me something. Look, young people, if you're listening to me today, don't you be influenced by the media. Don't you understand that these people are making money? I read somewhere where Snoop Dogg don't even allow the rappers to come to his house. He don't want his children to be influenced by them. Now, what does that say to you? He keep his family isolated from this, but he walks around with a big blunt in his mouth all the time. It's a game. It's a game. Don't you understand it? It's a game. And the unfortunate thing is we don't know how to separate fiction from reality. Don't let me stop there. But,
No, Dean, that is good, man. We needed to hear that. And I think to go back to the original question, as you spoke upon bridging the gap, man, I'm just so grateful to be in this space in this season to see uh, young men, African American men like Trey Stallworth and Kerry Brackett and Don Mosley, who can be those agents to empower the next generation as you all have empowered us. And I think as we continue to move forward, you know, Proverbs teaches us that iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. In order for us to advance as a people, in order for us to protect and to educate and to bring about transformation through salvation, education, and liberation, it's up to us. And as the theme for this month for Black History Month here at the college, the time is now to do it. We cannot lay back and allow other persons to teach our history, to teach our people, to empower us. We, as a people, should be the ones to step up. And so, again, I'm grateful to see that when there's a shortage in the classroom of African American teachers, that there's a growth here at Miles College, and they are doing the work. And so, Mr. Brackett, as we prepare to close out our college forum, as we prepare to close out our Black History Month celebration here at Miles College, certainly we want to allow you any last words, and then Dina give our closing, and follow our closing, we'll end with something special.
Once again, thank you for the opportunity, to share my poem, in this forum. Basically, I want, for anybody that's watching and what have you, basically to pick it back off, Reverend Al Sharpton, what he said. Not only be aware of the history that we made, but actually make the history. Because if we want to see change, we have to be the change. So, my young people, the students, you're making a change now, you're getting your education, so on and so forth. But it's one thing to actually get the education, but there's another to actually apply it. Bring the education, to your communities. If you are studying for biology, you want to be a doctor, study what you can do in your neighborhood, to help improve the health for your neighborhood. Or if you're studying business, how can you, improve the economy of your neighborhood, that kind of thing. That's pretty much all I have to say. Just basically be the change.
But Dean Parker, again, somebody's inspired today. They want to be a part of this great legacy. Will you share with them again how they can be a part of this great legacy at Miles College?
Absolutely. For over 124 years, Miles College has been here in the great city of Fairfield, transforming the lives of those who enter the hollowed halls, grassy hills, and plains of Miles College. And we want you to have that same opportunity. So we're encouraging you. If you have any questions, if you're interested in Miles, please give us a call today at 205-929-1000 and hit number 1 for our Office of Admissions, and or visit our website at www.miles.edu. There is a place for you. We would love to have you here. And listen, we also have opportunities for scholarships. And so if you're gifted and talented, particularly as we lead the Office of Student Life Engagement in Chapel, if you have the gifts of playing an instrument, or you have the gift of singing, and or encouraging people through leadership and school pride, as we also offer cheerleader scholarships, and we also offer scholarship. Reach out to us. We love to have you here. We love to have you sharing your talents, your gifts and graces as you inquire education, as you also matriculate and go on to be productive global citizens in this world. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you. And thank our guests today for sharing with us their talents as well. As we come to the close of this forum today, during this month, we have reflected on the past and how it gave impetus to help to propel us to the great institution that we are today. We looked at several presidential administrations during the growth and development of Miles. Each one contributed to the upbuilding of this institution. We are certainly grateful for the George T. French Jr. years here at Miles, his visionary leadership, his making history of building 3 major buildings on campus at one time was truly a monumental accomplishment, among other great work. His leadership prepared us for the outstanding work of our present president, Dr. Bobby Knight. Her great leadership is destined to continue the great legacy of our outstanding leadership at Miles College. Dr. Knight is positioning Miles for future growth and development. And we thank God for her leadership. We thank God for what she is doing to solidify this college and to take it into another level of excellence. We salute the outstanding leaders of Miles past and present. You all make us proud to proclaim when we say it with pride because of your leadership, past and present. We're proud to say we are Miles College. No man is an island. No man stands alone. We all stand on the shoulders of others. Appreciate your legacy and build on that legacy that God has given to all of us. We pray that God will be with you. We pray God will keep you. We pray that God will open up your understanding of who you are and what you have been called to be. Why are you here? What is your purpose for being? What do you hope to accomplish? What are your goals? Remember, life is hard by the yard, but it's a cinch by the inch. God bless you until we meet again.